Hello, everybody. How are things going? Can we hear? Everything's good sound-wise? At least I hope it is. So we got a great picture behind me. The White House. So we thought we'd take our chair and go sit out in front of the White House and see what happened. Excellent. I'm glad we can hear. So today we're going to be working on the block of the month. Aren't we all excited to see this one? I know I am. So let's switch over to the right screen here, and there we go. Excellent. Thanks, Helen. Awesome, Lois. Thanks for letting me know. So we've got the first block of the month in the quilt. So we've got a couple more to go still. So how about we just step right into it and move over to the block work table and start our block. A new block here. So with an easy draw. And like I started out the last one, we're going to do the same thing. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for coming out. So we're going to draw this corner to corner, and now we have everything broken out into our nice little 9-patch area. And it's time to put some lines onto this. So one of the cool things that we keep doing is we keep making similar things so that we're drawing and expanding on what we learned the last time. Hi, Teresa. So we're going to just draw some lines in here. They're very similar to last time where we had the corners. And if you need a refresher on that, we can go back and just look. So you can see here we drew the corners in the last time. And we're going to do something similar again here this time. None of these blocks so far have been a paper piece, Anita. They're all strictly straight seam stitching or Y seams. We had Y seams in the last one, just because we had to make the first one really, really hard. And, you know, give Mom a hard time. So last time we had some diamonds, so I want to do something a little bit different. I like diamond shapes. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take a line here. We're going to make a short line across. Yeah, like that. We're going to make another short line across. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom from the center out. Hello, Christine and Haley. And we're going to go here and here. So this is going to be fun to put together. So now we've got this neat little thing in the center here. And I'm thinking I want to echo these triangles that we've got here. And I want to echo them up. So like we did the last time, I'm going to draw a line up into the center and back down to this corner. And I want to mirror that on the bottom, I think. So this will be very similar to what we had the last time. So let's just take a quick look. So you see we did this the last time. So it'll be the same technique for this. But we're not going to do this side this time. Trying to keep some of the similar patterns and similar activities that we're going to do here. I sort of want to make this into a diamond. So I'm thinking I'm going to continue this line straight down. But I want it to come into the center here. So I'm going to draw a line down here to basically give me a point of reference and to create a cut line for the pattern. And we're going to draw this down into the center. And whoops, we'll do the same thing here, just to mirror it. Looks like it's 2 inches. Yep. There we go. And we're drawing our lines down into the center and into the center again. So far so good. We've got a nice diamond shape here. What does everybody think so far? Thinks it needs to be a little bit more artistic flair or something like that. I think I'm going to draw some lines out. From here, we're going to draw some lines out to the corner. And we're going to draw some lines here, out to the corner. Do the same on the other side. So there we go. I think that's where I want to go with this block. Now we get to color it. And that's the fun part. You know, get the pencil crayons out and color. So I want to go back to the other block for a second here. I just want to make sure I got the right color palette. And we can see we've got this. I want that. Hopefully that will come across. Looks like it has. I'm going to pull this into here in the center. So nice bright center. It does look like a giant diamond shaped eye. And then let's take a look here and go here and here. Oh, that's weird. For some reason the stream disconnected. Wonder if that was our network or the YouTube network. Okay, does everybody see me back now, or is it a mess? Okay, great. Glad it reconnected without too much trouble. Perfect. Okay, so thinking I'm gonna go into here. You know what? I don't like that, so I'm gonna change it around. I'm gonna go grab our tan color, which I think is, let's see if we can grab it here. Black to the block work too. It doesn't grab it, so that'll be a feature suggestion. One of the things I find that's really helpful is if you just color everything one color, except those areas, and then you can work from that area and see what you want to change. Okay, and back to this color. And I want to do this shape here and this shape here. That's interesting. What should we do? Should we continue down this one? I don't know. Let's go back here and change this out. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot better. That I like that. What does everybody else think? You think it's a little too simple? So what would make it harder, Ellie? So what do we need to do to make it harder if it's already too simple? Simple is good. It certainly is. It certainly makes it easy on everybody. We can make it a little bit more difficult. So let's add some more lines. And back to the color tab. Okay. That's kind of cool too. It's a little bit advanced from where we were. Sort of interesting. Let's put it beside it and see what happens, Helly. Just so that it, so you can see it. Oops. Notice I didn't get the right color tan, so I'll have to go back and fix that. That's not a bad pattern to match with the other block. Okay, let's go back to the work table. See if this is the right one. There we go. That is much better. The other thing we could do I'm just thinking here, what if instead of that we do this? That's the thing, when we're doing these designs we can do just about anything we want, and with your help we'll come up with something that is kind of neat to match all the other stuff that we're working on. Let's take a look at the colors, and let's take this in there. I think that works too. Gives it a little bit more color to go with. It'll drive Mom crazy when she goes to do this block, so what we're gonna do is add a couple more lines, because we like lines when we're designing stuff. We're just going to keep nesting the center down. One more time. I might be sleeping on the couch tonight, but we'll see what happens. That is definitely unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I hear you. I wanted to keep it simple, but you know, Helly wanted to have something challenging. So it had to be a balance of the two. This really won't be too bad with all of the extra flips. This will work out quite well. Yeah, and we're not doing anything from a skills perspective that you won't have done in some of your fairly simple things, and we're trying to expand everybody's skill set at the same time. So if you have questions or need help, we're always here to help out. When you're working on these things, go over to the Quilt Shop Mafia group over on the Facebook page and join up and make sure that and post your questions in there. There's a lot of good people over there helping everybody out. So I think I like this block now. This one here, paper piecing? Probably not. Paper piecing is only for, in my opinion, for really complex shapes. Looks like there's a line on the right middle and none on the left middle. You mean this line here? Yeah, I'll do that next, Lois. So if this line here is not the same as this line here, I don't know, can you guys not see this line? There is a line here, definitely. There's definitely a line in both places. And over to the quilt work table. Let's get rid of this block and put on this block. It definitely is complex in the middle. But the way you build that is you build out the square, and then you build out the next square, and then you build out the triangles on each side. But yes, it is a complex build, no question, for this center part. The rest of it's fairly straightforward. Well, that was too easy. Now we have to do something else. We're only, what, 20 minutes into the stream and we're already done our second block. We're getting too good at this. So I'm going to have to come up with something that's really challenging for the next one. Maybe some paper piecing? Nah, that's too much fun for you guys. You're not allowed to have that much fun. Oh, boss is here, we have to behave. Yeah, this one doesn't have any Y seams in it, so it should be fairly straightforward. What do you think, boss? This is the block. It changed a little bit from when we did our pre-work. Just so you guys know, we do audition most of our blocks before we put them up and build them. I do have an idea where I'm starting with, and then we'll let you guys tell us where we need to take some additional changes. So by the way, This is going to be fun for you, boss. Okay. So what should we do now? Questions? Anybody have any questions they'd like answered? Yeah, I'm sure you just picked up the piece of paper that I gave you earlier. Yes, it is way more complex, but it's a lot. It fits in with the other block, so I like how it's turned out. So we will continue on with this block as being the block for February. Yeah, it is. It's all Helly's fault. She wanted harder, so we kept adding stuff. So maybe I don't have to sleep on the couch. I'd have to go buy a couch first, and I'm not doing that. Okay, so what should we do now? Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now. Look out. Yeah, I guess we could let's invert the colors and see what the colors look like when they're inverted with the other pattern. That might be a good thing to do as well. So let's take Did I decide on the quilt from last week? Sorry, Teresa, it's been a really rough week for us here, so could you maybe refresh my memory on what I did or should have done? Oh, that's right. Sorry. No update yet. I just got agreement from Munchkin to that he was happy with the co-pattern that was going to go with it, so we're good to go there. And so the next activity will be to do the write-up for it and get it out to everybody. Now I gotta figure out how to get this right. So that would be this, that. And the rectangle. Which rectangle am I missing now? So I think that's about the inverse. Happy Friday, Saslet. So the inverse looks pretty neat too. But as always, you guys can do whichever version or coloring you want to do for yours. And let's take that and put it here. These two on their own could be a very interesting pattern together. So let's take a look at that. I'm just going to go and do a new quilt. Yep. And we're going to do, doesn't matter how many, but what I'm going to do is take that pattern, put it with, it's the same one, that pattern, get the right one here. There we go. So even all on its own, you can see these two color patterns. If you alternate them, the pattern it makes is quite nice. That one goes there, and it should be light. Wrong one again. Sometimes I gotta grab the right one. There we go. I think that looks pretty neat. Yeah, so if you're looking at the main pattern, it really is these diamond centerpieces across on the horizontal plane, and then you've got the secondary patterns in the squares in the corners. Bottom row is wrong. Looks right to me. Dark, light, dark, light. So how's it wrong, Pat? Yes, it is. Please wait while we get mesmerized by the different shades and colors. That should be better. So yeah, this one is a fun little thing. Let's see what happens when we turn it horizontally. Same thing, but it changes the dynamic of the quilt. So you end up with a much better situation here, I think. I like the horizontal version better. Hi, Denise. I can't imagine why you would be late if you were at Joanne's. How would you quilt such a busy quilt? Well, if Mom comes back, she can comment on that. But how I would see it done is breaking it up into areas of focus. So taking the centerpiece here in this pattern and maybe making that the focus, and then working your way either with a feather or something along those lines from the centers out on the stars, and then leave these into being their own block, not a paper piece. But I'm sure that every time we look at one of these quilts, somebody can come up with a different way to quilt it, because there's lots of different ways you could quilt this successfully and make it look good. Any comment, Laurelyn, if you're back? Yes, it could. I'm sure we could figure out how to do that. Paper piecing is essentially, if we were to look at the print and export, of the given block, we could use the standard foundation and look at how we number each one of these out. So we could go through all the exercise of building this out as a paper piece, but it doesn't need to be done as a paper piece. It could be done as a paper piece. Is this a center block? It's a block as part of the block of the month. It has no specific placement other than the just trying to show what it looks like if you were to make a whole bunch of them. Where were we here? This one. Let's go to quilts, back here. So there's either that one. Yeah, the main reason that we do these individually is to show what could possibly be done, not only for the block of the month, but if you chose to go a different path and do all of the blocks as an individual pattern. Then you have the opportunity to go through and just do the entire block. So there's the two opposing colors schemes that we did today. Are there any partial seams or Y seams? I don't know. I don't see any Y seams specifically, because you're going to build on the center block is going to be built on from the center out. You're going to add your corners, and then add your triangles, and then add your outside triangles to create a square. The darker one is better. Okay. And that's what we get for, hold on. You can rotate it and see what it looks like that way. Okay, so if we were to leave this as part of a row, when we go to design the next block, we're going to keep this color and this triangle the same way. So we have to, when we start to build out this next block, we're going to have to consider that as part of the block for over here when we join it up, just to make it look consistent across this row. So as we continue to design these blocks out, we have to be cognizant of the previous blocks, and as we get more blocks involved, we have to be cognizant. So if you think about when you have this block here, you have to have the consideration for here, this block here which hasn't been done yet, this one here, and then you tie each one of these blocks together. So this is when you're building out this quilt, we're going to build it so that all of the pieces and all of the blocks will actually mesh together and become one finished block, or one finished pattern, and it'll all be cohesive. It won't be a mess. It'll just it'll all flow together, and that's the goal. And that's sort of why when I start out, I always start out with a grid to try and make sure that there's consistency across all of the shapes that we're drawing. So you can see we're going to run out of different shapes very quickly that we can do. So I'm hoping we can get through 12 blocks for sure. So does anybody have any questions about anything? Anybody? Do people make marks on the blocks to remember which month they are from? How do you handle it, Lorlyn? Thanks, Pat. We're going to do some more complex stuff with the tool in the future, like we showed last week. Some of the different designs and the concepts around making sure the block is buildable. So there's your answer. You know, the boss puts the post-it notes on her first one, so I'm assuming she'll do it for the second one, and so on as we get through the 12 months. Excellent. Okay. So I don't have anything else that I wanted to share with you guys today. So if there's no more questions, I think what we'll do is we'll call it a stream, and we'll talk to you guys again on Sunday. No more questions? Okay. It will be ready for download on Sunday, as we do all of these. Okay, thanks everybody. I appreciate you coming out and joining us. I know it was a little bit of a short live stream, but we wanted to have some fun and get some blocks done. So thanks very much for coming out, and don't forget to share, like, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I'm sure all of you are. Definitely thank you again for coming out, and if you have an opportunity, head over to Patreon and support us there if you can. Thanks everyone.